All right, people. So our first review of the day is going to be for the horror film Good Boy. In this film here, you have the main protagonist as a dog, Indy, as he's called there. This cute little dog there. What is this movie about? Well, you got a man who's returning to his family home. It was his dad that left it to him, so he's coming back to it to claim ownership of it, clean it up there. And then while him and his dog are there, he discovers some supernatural forces are there. Something is off, and it's basically a lot of this gimmick of the movie is like one, it's from the perspective of a dog. And you know how like in horror movies, there's always that scene where the dog just barks at nothing and constantly is sensing something way before humans do. Well, what if we just had a whole movie kind of that in it of the dog kind of just, investigating on his own, doing his own thing, while these supernatural forces kind of come and attack the owner and the dog. So that's kind of basically what you have here. And is this movie more than just the gimmick of the whole thing of cute dog and a horror movie, and you have a lot of that? Is it more than just that? I'm gonna pass it to Mike. Get your thoughts on this, man. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so this is a movie that if you have not seen this kind of like style of filmmaking for, if you're really invested in, if you're here for kind of the gimmick, I think you will really like this movie. I really respect this movie from kind of like a filmmaker's point of view, and like it's very, no pun intended, but indie filmmaking style and being very true to its core. However, the issue is this is if you've seen any horror movie or if you've seen any movie that references horror movie, you've seen this before. So if you are tired of kind of like the same storyline, if you're expecting something a bit deeper, a bit more new, you're not going to get that. This, not to say this in a mean way, but this is a movie that so much of the charm of the movie comes from the gimmick that this is from the dog's point of view. It doesn't have an incredibly strong story, but it is it's a very fun premise from a filmmaking perspective. I do think it really could have benefited from a stronger script, or if it was like cut shorter to be maybe a 30-minute short or something like that. But overall, yeah, this is a good enough movie.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, I mean it's really short. It's only 70 minutes long, so you won't spend that long in the theater there. It knows when to get in and get out. The whole kind of concept there of this dog and following him, I think it kind of rises above a little bit of the gimmick. I mean, they got a dog that I mean, he's the best actor, one of the best actors of 2025. I mean, the dog knows how to really look scared and, look worried. And I can only imagine all the hard work it took to put the dog in all these different situations, to make him do all these different things on set and have that. I know people talk about like one of the two most difficult things to film is kids and dogs and animals. That's
Mhm.
always super difficult to kind of get a hold of. So I have to really admire that. And the director of this is Ben Leonberg
Mhm.
there. It seems like this is his directorial debut there with this film, so I think he does a good job with that. And I think that you're right. It is a conventional kind of horror story there, and it depends on how much is the gimmick going to kind of wear on you a little bit of like, okay, we're seeing a lot from the dog's perspective there. How long can you keep going with it? But I still think it does a decent job of that and making it kind of interesting with that. Um, but and for as far as the humans in here, you don't really. I mean, even with his owner, you don't really get to see much of him. His face is kind of blacked out or is covered usually throughout the movie. So it really emphasizes like this is about the dog more than anything, not about any of the other human characters in here. When he runs into somebody, their face is always covered, or you don't really get a clear look at them. But what did you think about that with kind of the human characters in here and the way they kind of show them?
Again, kind of the go previously, it's like it's one of those things of like this would have benefited from either a stronger script or if it was a bit shorter, because that is a charming aspect, but you kind of run into the difficulty of when your dog is the main character. Because like there's only so much you can get with this dog without making it kind of go a bit too over the top. I think the thing was like so much of this movie is going to rely on how much do you care about this dog and this dog like potentially getting hurt. And I did care. I also did like his relationship with the owner, but at the end, it's just you've only gotten so much you can get from like characters like the owner and even the dog to a degree. Uh, and again, it's just like you're not going to hear like the inner monologue of the dog. I'm not sure if that will have taken people out, but it does do a good way of conveying the dog's emotions and fear for the owner, and you do feel bad for Indy when he gets put in tough spots.
Mm, yeah, and like I mean, I mean, he's built for the moment. I mean, what they got with this dog and what they're able to have him do is really great, and I think that's really amazing there. And I think that I mean, you said it should be short. I mean, dang, 10 minutes short. I mean, it's already 70 minutes. So you think it should just be 60 minutes?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this is a very tough thing to film. It's just like yeah, it does feel like it would work better as a horror short than like as a whole movie. You know, the movie isn't that long; it's like 70-ish minutes. But I am glad something like this is able to get made and get very big and like have a lot of people talking. I think an interesting movie to compare this to is the French horror movie Baxter, which is also from a dog's point of view. However, in that, Baxter's the villain, and you do hear the dog's inner monologue throughout that, and you see more of the dog's like actions and like how he goes from house to house. And at first, it's like, oh, it's probably just a dog, but then at the end, it's just like, wait, is this dog like evil?
Is this the movie right here, Baxter?
Yes, yes, that's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and, I mean, we've had movies where dogs have been the main focal point. I mean, that's a whole business in film of, like, having dogs in movies and having them be the lead of it. Like,
Mhm.
Air Bud, of course, is big. That movie, with Simon Liu where they're, like, on a triathlon, they're doing a race and things like that, and they have, like, the dog who comes rescue them during it. There's that movie with Owen Wilson, I forgot the name of that movie, Lucky or Marley. Marley was it, that movie there. So,
What was a Disney Husky movie?
uh,
Uh, it was like a comedian was a star in it.
uh, Disney movie. I know what you're talking about. Like they were like track dogs or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
Snow Dogs with
Snow.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah. He's probably doing a lot of snow when he was doing that movie,
Yeah,
probably. But yeah, I mean, it's not unprecedented that we've had that necessarily. I mean, like I said, it's a whole business of having them, and it also helps. Like I said, cute dog. People love cute dogs in it, so that's gonna make good money there.
yeah,
For that.
and it's one of those benefits of this isn't like you could tell this is a movie where the dog was like perfectly fine because this isn't like the 90s or like 2000s because this is the director's dog as well. The dog doesn't know it's in the movie, and it's not one of those like movies of like we're just throwing a bunch of dogs and cats into the river. Just
Is that what happened back then in the day? That's
yeah,
what we.
yeah, we did not have great like
Uh,
Hollywood was a lot more wild back then. Just
oh, jeez. Okay.
yeah.
Did not know that. Yeah, I mean, not surprising, really, but
Yeah, animals are tough to work with in Hollywood. If you ever want to watch like an actual scary movie, just watch Roar because in that it was like made by the most insane director of all time, who just brought a bunch of actual big cats like lions and tigers to the set, and he tried to make a movie with them, and you could see them trying to kill them just throughout it.
jeez.
Yeah, that was like
Um,
days.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is a fine kind of horror film there.
Mhm.
Um, and I think, hey, I mean, this dog is great in it, and I think he's fantastic, and he
Very
shows
cute.
up for the. Oh, you said?
I said very cute
Yeah, oh
dog.
yeah, very, very, very cute there as well. And the actual horror aspect of things, I mean, the dog, like I said, it does a great job of showing that fear through the dog, and showing that. I mean, the actual what's actually happening as far as the supernatural threat is like you said, it's not that great, really. I mean, it's kind of something. It's a little weird, but it's not like that offsetting. At least for me, I don't know. I've seen a lot of horror movies. You've seen a lot of horror movies, so it's really maybe nothing crazy there.
Yeah.
Um, but, they do some great visual tricks with this as well, like, there's like, through the dog, you're able to see, like, flashbacks of what happened to the previous owner, like, his grandfather, which was really nice, I did like that, and through his senses of, like, smell and everything, like, he's able to kind of, like, retrace all these things that happened. I thought that was a really good use of that, with the dog. So, yeah, I think it's a more than just a gimmick. I think, it's still a solid movie other than just like, hey, it's this cool thing with the dog and from from a horror movie from the perspective of a dog. I think
Yeah.
it has a little bit more going for it than that, in terms of the storytelling and direction of it. So for me, I would give it a tune in for me. What about you?
I would also give it a 2 and N. I'm glad something like this can get made and, like, get such a wide release, especially on such a small budget. I think it was, like, $3,000. It was very cheap, uh,
Mm,
or something like that because it was mainly the location they needed. But yeah, I'm glad this movie got made. I'm glad it had such a big, uh, following and got and, like, I wanna see more from this director in the future. I wanna see him do more stuff. It did, I do think a similar movie that came out maybe a year or 2 ago, I don't remember exactly, which is some people were a bit more divided on, but I thought was just, like, almost like a perfect movie of doing what its premise was to the absolute fullest was In a Violent Nature, which is from the Jason homage's point of view. And like that movie just fully goes with its premise and goes a lot further. I think with that movie and how it uses aspects of the supernatural and the lore in the background, I think that was a lot more effective than this. I think maybe this movie would have done better if it was like other people have talked about this, but kind of like that theory people have of Courage the Cowardly Dog. Of it's like everything is just normal, but it's from the dog's perspective, which is why it looks like horror, like why it looks like supernatural. Like I think this may have done better if it was just like there's just a serial killer in the woods as opposed to like a weird demon house thing that doesn't get fully explored.
yeah. Maybe it was like a vacuum cleaner. Maybe it's just
Yeah,
like you think it's like this big scary monster, just a vacuum
yeah, demon. Yeah,
cleaner.
yeah,
um,
yeah. Kind of like the scene in Home Alone where he goes to the basement and he sees like the furnace, and to him it looks like a demon because he's like 9.
yeah, I mean, that would have been kind of interesting too if you do that. I mean, you got a dog. Maybe you could do a horror movie with you and your dog.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Gibby. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
my dog was just gonna like yeah, my dog's gonna just run into me throughout that. Have you ever seen those videos of like someone's friend comes into their house or room dressed as like a intruder and like they attack them while the dog's eating and see how if my dog would defend me if I'm being attacked?
Oh yeah, I have seen those videos. Yeah, and the dog just kind of just sits there eating or finishes the food, and
Yeah,
sometimes maybe
then
he'll
I'll
go to
save you.
yeah. Yeah, and you see those videos of like robbers coming in the house, and like the dog is just he feeds them the food, and the dog's just okay with them.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. There's also another movie coming out, I think this year. I wanna say it's either from Blumhouse or A24, but it's a horror movie. It's a documentary, but it's directed like it's a horror movie. But it's, like, all about just nature, of, like, the average night in nature. What's it called? Uh,
mm, hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That there.
uh,
But it's an A24 movie. You said.
I want that or it's a Blumhouse. Sorry, I know it sounds weird, but, okay, documentary.
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah, for Good Boy, you gave it a tune in. I gave it a tune in.
Oh.
Available in theaters now. You found the movie?
Oh, no, 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 I just said, yeah, I gave it to it,
Oh yeah. So yeah, two tens for it. In theaters now. My theater was packed. It was pretty much every seat was filled there. You said your theater was decently packed there,
yeah,
people.
like,
So
I'd say halfway full.
yeah. So if the budget is as small as you say, which I can see the budget being around that, probably $3,000 maybe. And I think the marketing alone, just people love dogs, and that's you don't have to do much crazy marketing for it. The concept alone is going to draw people in. So it's probably going to make some good amount of money back. Uh,
Nightmares of Nature, that's what the new horror movie is called.
Nightmares of Nature. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
which is like that's fun, but yeah, yeah. Since I saw this in the theater, they did like a special behind the scenes of seeing how Indy did all those tricks, and that was very cute.
Okay. What were some of the secrets they got?
Well, they would mainly talk about like how Indy doesn't really know she's in a movie or he's in a movie, and so it's usually they would have like Indy like being held at the moment, and then someone's like, "Go, Indy, come here." Then Indy would go through that, and like that's how they film like the scenes of like Indy going through like chasing someone or Indy escaping a scene.
Okay. Nice. So, yeah, I mean, I imagine you had a lot of hard work went into that, yeah, doing all that, but awesome stuff there. So, yeah, that was our review
Mhm.
for Good Boy.